Peace Campaign Show live Wednesday, March 19th, Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslims, 19th day of Ramadan. Almost down to the last 10 days. Tomorrow we'll be down to the last 10 days of Ramadan, which is the night of power. And man, this Ramadan has been Ramadaning. And I expect the most powerful Ramadaning to be going on these last 10 days. Salute, peace. Cousin Pookie on the couch, peace to you. I see you. Safi Ali, peace. Peace to all of the believers. Peace to everybody, the righteous, but happy and blessed, successful Ramadan to everybody that's participating in Ramadan. You see the title, staying out of drama, beef, mess, all that, because it's a whole lot of that going on right now, especially in these social media streets and on these real streets. I share this screen right here just to let us take a look at some of it. You see, this is just YouTube. I'm just scrolling on my YouTube feed and looking at all the stuff that's popping up. Salute Doggy Diamond, Digital Soapbox family member. Shouts out, salute Doggy Diamond. Kanye West, you know what's going on with him right now. Man, this right here is, man, rough stuff. Just hilarious, and whatever she going through with that co-host Lauren something on the Breakfast Club. It's just going on, man. It's going down. It's going down. Yeah, it's wild. It's looking wild out here in these streets. So that's one of the reasons why we be Ramadaning, because it's that type of righteous discipline and military line organization, obedience, and following chain of command, following wise instructions and guidance that keeps us out of all of that. It keeps us out of the mess. I kind of had to intervene on one of the brothers. I think it's a brother. I'm not familiar with him. FOI, I don't know where exactly he's out of, but I saw some interaction that shouldn't have been going on Instagram between him and brother Tazariak from the Hebrew Israelite nation. I think it's ISP UPK or something. I forgot exactly which one, but I got a good rapport with brother Tazariak. We did a few little back and forth episodes before, and we was real respectful. But then I saw this brother, I think he's FOI, that was talking real disrespectful, or real feelings, and I just pulled his coat in a DM, like, this ain't the especially Ramadan, this is absolutely not the time to be online having any kind of negative beef looking type of and he agreed. What I'm saying, you're absolutely right. So shouts out to the brother, and peace to any of us. This is fed bait time. I'm not saying that none of the people that I ever disagreed with or whatever is them alphabet boys or nothing, but the alphabet people is always looking. They study our psychological profile. They got all of our devices tapped. You know what I'm saying? That's why we don't care, because we ain't doing nothing wrong, but they still want to pit us against each other. They want to find black groups that's progressive that they fear and make us bump heads with them and make them bump heads with us. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? In the lessons that the question is asked, can the devil fool a Muslim? Not nowadays. Back then, Yaqub and his maid devil could come among the righteous, making trouble, telling lies, causing us to fight and delete each other. Not today. We ain't supposed to be claiming we with Farrakhan and we participating in that. So it's a way to be disagreeable. You ain't gotta. We don't talk that wild little baby language. Mentally dead stuff. So, but yeah, this is Ramadan, man. It's about peace. It's about wisdom. It's about understanding. It's about conflict resolution, because that's what we seeing is not going on. We supposed to be the stars. We supposed to be the light. You know what I'm saying? In the darkness. We don't get down like we see everybody else get down. We supposed to be attracting them to get down like we get down. Conflict resolution, or just wave it off, or just don't really acknowledge it. And if you're going to acknowledge it the way that the books say acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? The books say don't do none of that during the holy month. If you're a Muslim, unless they attack you in the holy month, ain't nobody attacking you, or if they're attacking Farrakhan, or attacking our God or Messiah or messenger, okay, well, it's only 10 days left. If you want to entertain that later on after Ramadan, then be my guest, but still do it with respect. Don't be calling nobody no derogatory names and all that. That don't represent us. I already be pushing the envelope. That's why I be on here saying campaign show. I don't be saying this the FOI live or the Nation of Islam representation. You gotta, if you out there talking that kind of talk, you gotta speak for yourself. You don't speak for Farrakhan, you don't speak for the FOI, the MGT, and I don't either. You know what I'm saying? If I'm on here, I'm definitely pointing us to the source and to those teachings, but I ain't on here, claiming it like that. And, everybody know that I live that. That is who and what I am. That's why I try to just naturally be on my P's and Q's, to where I don't say nothing that can even be traced back to the minister, or associated with the minister, or with the FOI, the MGT, unless it's something righteous and positive that's 100% in line with the teachings and the discipline and the goal, and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, don't let your feelings and your ego and pride and all of that. That's not what we working with. And right now it's so much, since it's the end of grace. These Satans and these behavioral scientists, they looking for that. They looking for any little crack in your fish tank. They behavioral scientists. They got psychological profiles on all of us, especially the ones of us that's online that they know is zealots, that's so-called extreme, or that's activists, that's ready to crash out, that we real passionate. They look for foolish, unwise, immature, passionate, zealous soldiers to emotionally manipulate you, or to send somebody at you to disrespect your organization, or say something crazy or whatever about your organization or your leader or yourself or whoever. And they know that you're going to emotionally react. You're going to say something that don't need to be said, or you're going to say something, period. You're going to acknowledge it when most of this stuff don't even need to be acknowledged. Most of it don't need to be acknowledged. If you're not just teaching and spreading, the life-saving knowledge of self, revelation, information of who you say God is, or the messenger of God, then ain't no reason to get excited or emotional arguing with nobody about nothing. There ain't no need to do that. That's why I think it's time, inshallah, at the end of this Ramadan, to show the example of how to challenge if two people is extremely opposed and they both claiming God, they both claiming that they revolutionary, they black or whatever, then it's the Bible and the Quran show you how to handle that. It ain't about getting emotional. You do a showdown. You invoke the curse of God on which one of y'all is the liars or is in the wrong. It ain't no No need them calling nobody out their name and saying no N-word or saying no this or no that. I'll respectfully well, brother, are you willing to do, this and that? Because I think we should be together. I think we should be united. But if my belief in my interpretation of God in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, or in the person of Elijah Muhammad, or in the person of Farrakhan Muhammad, or in the person of us, if that's blasphemy to you or so bad that you can't unite with the nation, then and you feel like it's your job to hinder, the nation's work or the nation's teachings, well, respectfully, are you willing to do what the Bible says do with Elijah and the Baal prophets? Are you willing to do a public showdown, and we both call publicly on our God to send down a curse or whatever you want to do? You know what I'm saying? On which one of us is representing the fake God or the wrong God? Are you willing to do that, brother? It ain't got to be no N-word and you this and you that. And I mean, it just solve it the God way. It just solve it with the supernatural power, the mystery powers of the God we both claim we believe in. Right? So anybody can get you emotional. That means your faith ain't strong enough. Your knowledge ain't strong enough. Your faith, your wisdom, your understanding is not strong enough. If somebody can insult your leader or your God or whatever, and we want to emotionally crash out, you don't represent the God. Nah, that ain't how God say do it. God tell you how to do it. He said, let me do it. You know what I'm saying? Put it on me. Let's put it on the God we both claim to believe in. And don't even do that during Ramadan, because, this is the last grace period that we trying to offer unity. I'm not trying to crash out and look for, targets of Black people that have been violating. No, Ramadan is to do the opposite, like olive branch, olive branch, olive branch. You know what I'm saying? I'm handing out the last of these olive branches. Because that other time, the other season is coming right behind that. So whoever don't want to take the olive branch, then, but yeah, man. But it's going down in these streets right now. It's going down with these devils. They coming down on you having great wrath because they know they got but a short time left. So it really disturbed me to see some of the stuff that I saw on my feed, you know what I'm saying, with people that I know and people that I done dealt with. And but I'm with Farrakhan, and I've been delivering the messages and the warnings and the good news and the warnings and the mathematics and the proof about how grace time is up. What we used to get away with, we not gonna get away with no more. And yeah, man, it's just gonna get worse. It's about to get much, much worse. It's not gonna get better no time soon. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse. So I'm just trying to put it out there for y'all now. Fly to your own, join on to your own kind. Definitely stay up to speed with Farrakhan. You don't have to call yourself a Muslim. Just call yourself an intelligent researcher. I'm just, I'm interested, and I respect the information and the teachings and the track record and the history of Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. You can feel whatever you want to feel about the characters, the leaders, or whatever, and you're welcome to talk about it. But yeah. If y'all don't want to unite, then my job is just to get your blood off our hands. If you don't want to unite, because we want to unite. We want to unite with all of our people, regardless of their religious faith or belief or whatever. We can deal with that later. Right now, we got common priority, common denominator, enemies, and threats that they don't care what our religion is. But if you care to the point where, you're not really willing to rock with us or unite because you can't trust this, or you know you want to do your own thing, or all right, well, I understand it because you just can't do anything with us either. So it's just a matter of time, just a matter of days now. George Allen, walaikum salam. Almost at the finish line of Ramadan. Absolutely. Nate the Greatest, Ramadan Kareem. Sherry, salute. I agree that today was just wild. Man, wow. Wild West, Sherry. Madan, salute. Salute, Madan Komet. Divine Light, Allah, walaikum salam. Ramadan Kareem. R.A. Music. Peace. Adrian X, salam, walaikum salam. Ramadan Mubarak. Share, yeah, fed bait for sure. You know, I like to say, I coined that phrase many years ago, but I got it from an old school West Coast street anthem. Used to be called Jailbait. I forgot the rapper, but I just hollered at one of the rappers from that group. But it was a song called Jailbait. She's just jailbait. So fed bait. He's just fed bait. So it's so many YouTube, internet, clubhouse fed baits. It's, you know, so we don't play fed bait. We fish for men. We fishers of men. We fishing for men. We not, fishing for convictions and victims. You know what I'm saying? We not nets and traps for Satan. So yeah, we absolutely know what's fed bait and what ain't, male and female. It's a gang of female fed bait. You know, they the most trickiest. So on a roll, walaikum salam, Ramadan Kareem, Stacy Galore, understanding, absolutely. I mean, Hakeem, Satan desires to sift us like wheat, and he's doing a real good job at it. He's been doing an excellent job at it. Same day parlay, peace. PL Senior, peace. Wrench Mob and the God family, salute. Clear Vision Media, walaikum salam, Ramadan Kareem, and Ramadan Mubarak. Excuse me. So, yeah, this is a dude that I be watching a lot. This is Ashton Forbes. You know, I get a lot of information by studying white folks. You know, white folks that's whistleblowers that that I can share their information, because us, our people, we still kind of brainwash a lot that we don't believe nothing unless white folks say it. So yesterday I was posting something about this Dr. Artist, the Dr. Artist, ARDIS show. But I also, if I'm gonna promote them, I want to promote, you know what I'm saying? I'm just scrolling looking at these thumbnails. It's a brother that I've been seeing on the line called name is his name Yaki? Man. Yeah, I think his name is Yaki, like a holistic young black brother with dreads that be, and what's his name? Hold on for. But I definitely want to give him a shout out too, because I ain't just gonna shout out former slave masters' children and not shout out my own people, even though I don't know them and I ain't never met him. What is his name? Yaki Awakened. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Clear Vision Media. Yeah, Yaki Awakened. So let me put him up on the screen. And I seen some real good information from him. Hold on. One second. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, right here. Yaki Awakened. Yaki Awakened on Instagram. And I'm going to put his link in the chat because I saw a whole lot of good stuff on his page. So that's his page right there, Yaki Awakened on Instagram. He probably I'm sure he's on YouTube too. And it says certified nutritionist, scientist, biochemist, PhD in natural health science. So I love to see that. I love to be able to put just like Dr. Wesley, you know, in the nation, PhD, like our people that we respect them like labels and them titles. So I love when our people like, and he not no Nation of Islam, you know what I'm saying? He probably don't give two F's about the nation or Muslim or Arab culture or whatever, but I'm gonna promote him. I'd rather go to him than go to Dr. Ardies or whoever, you know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of olive branch, you know, proof and demonstrating about unity and, you know, that I'm talking about. They probably don't want nothing to do with NOI theology, teachings, or beliefs or whatever, but look what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's doing something. He built something. He's helping our people. So I got the same views with the Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters that you don't got to believe in what we talking about. Just don't be disrespectful, because if you be too disrespectful, then I got to respectfully call that challenge out. Okay, do you believe in any God? Because you believe our God is, you're promoting that our God is fake or wrong or white man or whatever, you know, then I have to respectfully, publicly challenge you and call you out pleasantly, right? If you read the story of Elijah and the Baal prophets when he was doing that challenge with them, he wasn't calling them out their name and calling them the N-word. He was mocking them a little bit, but he was super pleasant until, you know, after the challenge, you know, he had something else called another little shot. But I'm not talking about doing that. I'm talking about just leaving it like that. Let God do all the work. Whoever the God is, if you believe God is in y'all, I understand that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that God is in us, so God is going to deal with you. Like, I ain't talking about that. That don't apply to black people. I don't see that interpretation when it comes to black people in this season. I want to keep it strictly so-called spiritual, metaphysical, miracle, all the stuff they claim they believe in, and run it like that. Let's not get our hands dirty with each other at all. All we getting is our mouth dirty by letting the wrong stuff fly out. So that's how we supposed to do that. And at the same time, I'm going to still promote you. I'm going to still patronize your business, still shop at your business or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather do that than me going to the slave masters' children that I know hates our guts, and you still shop at their stores every day. You still go to the grocery store and go to the doctor and go, you know, knowing how they feel about you. So why I can't be that mature when it comes to my own people? You could be like, hey, F the nation, but okay, what do you put in your food? What do you put in your capsules or in your, you know, your herbs? Yeah, you can say F the nation all you want, but as long as you putting the right stuff in them herbs, I'm gonna still shop with you before I shop with the slave master children. That's just me. That's how I was taught and raised and trained in the NOI. No matter what, I ain't worried about black people feelings. You know what I'm saying? You still my people until you just putting too much. If you trying to do too much, then all right, we'll just respectfully leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? Just leave you alone with respect and say peace. But if you go further than that, then we just gonna pray for the curse of God to be on which one of us is in the wrong, and just still keep it moving. That's simple. No need to get bent out of shape. No need for none of that. So, but yeah, let me see. Remove that. Get back to screen sharing. Yeah, man, it's drama though. It's drama these last 10 days. Keep your eyes open and your ears open and watch the news. Watch the weather and watch the news. These last 10 days. Last 10 days of Ramadan, starting tomorrow, watch the news. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of unnecessary arguments. Stay out of drama. Stay out of gossip. I'm warning you. Stay out of mess. Stay out of beef, because we're going to get caught up. I'm just telling you, you're going to get caught up. Let's see. Here, that ain't what happened. Let me find this. What is this? Yeah, I don't know what this is. We just scrolling. We just scrolling together. So I'm trying to find out what's on my news feed. What be hitting my news feed every day. So yeah, Yaki awakened. Incredible healing journey with stage 3 kidney disease. Our beautiful, courageous sister, Miss Naoma Williams, who has shown what determination and the right approach to health can accomplish. Man, that's a whole lot to read, but yeah, he be having testimonials and actual test results. So that's Yaki Awakened. Y'all follow Yaki Awakened on Instagram. And his approach, from what I've seen, what I'm saying, he's right there in line on the grade level, if not a grade level above, or a few grade levels above, from what I've seen of Dr. Sebi. May Allah be pleased with Dr. Sebi. So Yaki Awaken, I think he's from that same kind of tradition. I don't know if those is his people or whatever, his tribe, but from what I've seen and what I heard of his knowledge, he's young, youngster compared to me. So I ain't gonna do nothing but praise what he doing. I don't care who he believe in or who he don't believe in, spiritually or politically or whatever. What he's doing as a young black man to help our people health wise, that's all I'm concerned about. Yeah, I don't know none of these people. This is what I do. I just be scrolling and whatever hit my radar. If it makes sense, I'll talk about it. But as we can see, it ain't no much of nothing going on here. Let me see what YouTube talking about. That's myself. Just hilarious. That's some drama right there. That's some kind of messiness, emotionalism again. I watched a little bit of that. Her, Lauren, LaRosa, and Just Hilarious. Just, you can just tell we on the last lap. All of us is crashing out with emotionalism, crashing out, man. So, yeah, man. Oh Lord. Oh, y'all seen it while I'm seeing it. I ain't gonna play no audio. Fair use. This is an hour ago. It says that Eugene Henley now in custody, FBI says. So I'll just leave that alone. We just go to something else. This is my dude, the dude I be talking about. He's on live right now. Ashton Forbes. That's great information. Also, I just be on some different stuff. And yeah, man. Man. Madonna Komet, salute. Yusuf Arline, salute. Elmatic, salute. Jam 7, Jack 5, salute. KM, salute. On a roll, man. Anyway, yeah, let me put the link in the chat. If anybody want to hop on and talk about anything particular in particular, you're welcome to, or you can just put something in the chat. If y'all want to talk about something in the chat, I'm trying to keep it positive, be free, drama free, messiness free. I'm not trying to be involved with no kind of mess, no kind of gossip, no slander, none of that. I want to just deal with positive information that we can benefit from. I don't mind whistleblowing. I ain't talking about no, I'm talking about against the enemy, against the system. Seeing that Kanye, what I'm saying, doing what he doing, expressing his dissatisfaction or his dislike for Kendrick music and for what's going on with his own children and whatnot. And he got the right to say that. You know what I'm saying? He got accomplishments. He got the right to say. I wouldn't say that. I don't agree with that. But if his whole thing is trolling, all these people worship trolling, like they think that's the thing to do these days. Is that's how you stay keeping attention on yourself as you go look for some black person to disagree with, and that's just childish female energy to me. So yeah, I ain't with that. But they figured out the algorithm. That's Satan's algorithm right now. That's why a lot of us ain't blowed up and will never blow up in Satan's system, because we won't play the Satan algorithm game. Our manhood, the way that our manhood and testicles is set up, I'm not going to participate. I got probably way more dirt or way more stories that I could tell and call out way more people, than I'll just never do that. It's not about money and fame or whatever. That's just not my assignment. My mission is try to use whatever credibility or track record or body of work or history or respect to to share information that I know going to benefit you. Share knowledge itself, share unity, surviving these Satans, identifying these Satans and how to stay out the way of their traps and tricks. They saying now that the next pandemic is supposed to be a cyber pandemic, an EMP pulse weapon or a cyber attack weapon that takes all of our computer information, all of that, and takes it off the grid, takes it offline, everything of electronics that we rely on every day, to wipe that out. So that's the next attack. So we thought the Wuhan germ, Wuhan China virus was bad, and that situation was bad. This is going to be even worse. So it's supposed to be a cyber attack, a cyber/EMP, electromagnetic pulse attack on the electrical grid, or on the of course the internet, any data, any bank accounts or hospital machines, or they're supposed to hit all of that. So I would be preparing for that rather than preparing to spread gossip and looking for some reality show, soap opera drama mess for us to be paying attention to. Madon.
Yo, Cam, salute. Can you hear me?
Man, peace. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh man, peace and blessings, man.
Peace and blessings. What's your thoughts, brother?
Oh well, man, I would say, we can clearly see that the devil is definitely going to and fro and in and out the earth, and it's a lot of lessons being learned, man. I've been seeing a lot of stuff that's been going on in Black America and White America and all America, but it's unfortunately a lot of these situations has transpired, and it goes to show that we're not unified in the way that we should be unified, man, to combat a lot of these mishaps and misfortunes, or whatever the case it was that played out to these things to take place,
Yeah. And it's free will. Everybody claims that they don't follow no man, and they their own leader, and they make their own choices. So a lot of it has to do with rebellion, distrust, and pride and ego. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it is jealousy, envy. So our job, that's why, if you really believe that what you got is superior or is true, then like the book say, just deliver the message, deliver the warning, deliver the good news, and let them choose. Let the people choose what they're gonna do with it. But get their blood off of your hands. So that's all we do is get the blood off our hands. We can't make nobody agree with us, believe us, unite with us. All you can do is offer the olive branch, and that's what I've been always doing. If nobody wants to take you up on it, that's on them. Lord Seiss says, can you include ever resolving the issue between you all? And he's saying me and you and Cube. So that's kind of what I mean. That's kind of COINTELPRO feminine-ish. That's suggesting that I haven't always been doing that. And people like you, Lord Seiss, is the ones that, if I do speak on that, then y'all be saying, why you talking on Q? Why you talking about Q? Because you keep asking about it, and you're asking about it the wrong way, suggesting the wrong information. So just because you offer olive branches to people don't mean that they're gonna accept it. Maybe you should ask Cube that. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here making myself available. I'm actually reading your comment. I'm hands-on with it, acknowledging, people in real time every night. So maybe you need to ask Cube that, or whoever you feel like that, I need to make peace with. I am Mr. Peace Treaty. That's my whole handle. So my track record is making peace between killers. Why would I have a problem with him? You might need to ask, do he got a problem with me? But yeah, so this is Ramadan though. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Same day parlay won't be able to watch YouTube. Yeah, once they hit that EMP, that cyber attack, yeah, they won't be able to watch none of this twerking, sticking your tongue out, thotting, none of that. Praise the Lord, praise white Jesus.
Yeah, that would definitely be a day of chaos.
But it'd be a day of celebration. Like it's chaos every day that we can watch this shit. It'll be probably a peaceful, most peaceful day of, we ain't got to see that.
Yeah, that's true, man. Because I remember, I think some years back here, I don't know if you remember, they had that blackout in New York for like a week or two straight or something, and you seen people uniting at night, singing songs and doing things like they did back in the day, kind of, so to speak.
Yeah, man. If we weren't so poisoned and dependent on these pharmaceutical drug lords and these lying scientists of so-called medicine and hospital machines or whatever, we could survive that. But we done bought all the way in to them and to the devil's system. So we believe in them and rely on them so much that anything that takes them off the grid or takes that out or unplugs us from that, it's like they pull the plug on us. We ain't even gonna last but a few minutes because we totally dependent on their system, their world.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Definitely are.
Yeah. Lord Seiss was out of love. My response was out of love. I mean, you bringing, you suggesting something that you maybe shouldn't have suggested. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Yusuf Arline, salute. But yeah, conflict resolution is something that you can't force. You can't force peace like what Jess Hilarious is going through with Lauren LaRosa on a Breakfast Club. I don't know neither one. I don't watch neither one, but I just saw that come across my feed today. So I looked at a few minutes of it and I saw the energy that the real, the energy that Jess Hilarious was on. And I didn't agree with that energy. That energy seemed real bitter and masculine. And, I didn't agree with that energy. And I didn't agree that it should be done in public like that. If they really got issues with each other like that, then you're supposed to do that privately behind closed doors, air out your, whatever you got going on, because they two females, they might be on a cycle at the same time. They might be going through Lord knows what at the same time or whatever. So it just messy, childish, immature, unwise activity. But that's the name of the game across the board in our communities these days. You know what I'm saying? So who you gonna listen to? Like if you got some men, or you got a nation, you got Farrakhan, you got the whole Nation of Islam, you got the best example of how to go about it. Conflict resolution, peacekeepers, peacemakers. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really want to respect or seek their counsel or their help, or you want to do things your own way or whatever. Then, like, all right, well, can't force you. Can't force you. And we're not responsible for you. Like people be like, well, what about the crime in Chicago? What about it? What that got to do with us? The nation is right there in Chicago. Absolutely. That's why the crime is out of control. That's why blacks is doing blacks at all-time high, because that's where the Messiah, the headquarters of the most successful, unified, progressive, divine, holy nation of black people exist at. So you don't think the enemy is going to concentrate all of their efforts there just so people like you can say that? Like, what are we supposed to handcuff them? Like, what is the nation supposed to do other than what the nation is doing? The Nation of Islam is a nation of volunteer soldiers, people that chose this, free will, remember? What the nation doing? What do you mean what the nation doing? You see the army in the nation. The nation is a nation. That's what the nation doing. The nation is a nation within a nation that's not going through none of the stuff that, our wild people is suffering out in these streets. That's what we doing. So, same day parlay. What'd you say? Madonna?
I was just saying you 100 with that one.
Same day parlay say, I don't think they resolved the issue today. You mean Jess Hilarious and Lauren LaRosa? I wonder about tomorrow. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, man. It's like I guess I don't know if this is the right way of saying it, but it's like when I look at that situation, it's like, are they becoming casualties of fame, or is it, they're just falling into like just what's going on? Oh, I don't know.
No, you said it right. If you famous today on Satan's media, what do you think time and energy you must have to be on? If this is Satan's world, Satan's media, Satan's narratives and storylines, Satan's agenda, Satan's money with Satan's face on it, if you popping, what does that mean that you own? Show me somebody that's popping right now on Satan's media that's not doing Satan's agenda. Show me. Show me. Is it sports? Oh, so you saying that, I'm not saying that sports athletes, professional athletes is intentionally doing that wrong, but why should somebody be getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars to be tall and they know how to dunk a basketball? Right? When you got people that's school teachers, or people that's nurses, you got people that's, nation activists or Hebrew Israelites or Moors or whatever, that shouldn't they be getting $500 million a year for saving black people, for educating mentally dead people, for bringing unity between people? That's not satanic. You're not going to be on Satan's media at all successfully unless you're doing Satan's agenda. Period. If I'm wrong, somebody show me different. I can be wrong. Just prove it to me.
Yeah, that's a good question, man, because I'm hoping somebody take that challenge, because I'm trying to think of who I can't. cycling through my mind, but I can't think of nobody because the people I know that do try to say something, that they pull the plug quick. Like, all right, sir, thank you for coming. Just cut them off the show or something real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We come back to the closest we've ever been in the last 20 or 30 years. Like 20 or 30 years ago, like 30 years ago, that was the last of it. You know what I'm saying? In my era of conscious rap and conscious movies and this and that. But for the last 30 years, all of that's been media blackout. It wasn't until Trump got back in office a few months ago, and because he called out the fake media or legacy media as fake news, and he chose to go to war against them because he got canceled. He was a sitting president that got banned off of social media and canceled in the media as a sitting president before he left the office. That's why we can even have a quick little window breather and get this stuff off. This is like the last little grace period before everything gets shut all the way down, because that's why they intend to do this media cyber attack EMP pulse thing, because we waking up too much. They can't control this. They can't control it. So they have to shut it down. That's why our job is to just offer olive branch warning, good news warning message, good news warning, get as much of the blood off our hands as we can, because we know it's all going to get shut down. And we know Noah's Ark door is closing. We know what's going to happen as soon as, Noah or the Messiah leave. We know what's going to happen. Jam 7, Jack 5. I watched that Dr. Artist, the other N-word, and it was very enlightening about nicotine. Yeah. And he was telling the truth. So same with Ashton Forbes over here. You know what I'm saying? It's a few white dudes that I really rock with. I don't believe that, their nature, they was doing it for me. I don't believe they doing what they doing for ninjas. You know what I'm saying? I believe they love themselves and their own kind, and they realize that they small hat big brothers have sacrificed them and used them as disposable diapers. And they so furious at, being deceived by their small cap big brothers that they willing to go to war, because they don't fear each other. They not fascinated and in fear and in love with each other. When I say they, I'm talking about the Europeans. They don't admire each other like ninjas admire them. They don't fear, white folks don't fear white folks. Ninjas fear white folks. So when you see them go at each other, they gonna go. You see them start whistle blowing and start being active against each other, they gonna go. They're gonna go all the way. And we got to be smart enough to let them go there and benefit, get the information. Oh, that's what they was hiding from us. Oh, and that's what that side was hiding from us. And let them crash out like they've been doing us for the last 3.5 centuries.
Yeah. That's a fact, man. I remember I heard some of the late great brother Dr. Collins say, when two white folks arguing, study that argument. You might learn something.
You definitely gonna learn something. You absolutely gonna learn something. That's something you ain't gonna learn nowhere else. You're gonna learn it in school, in college, in church, in jail. You ain't, if you blessed to be able to see them argue, and especially if they prominent, they got influence or they got power, you better listen to what they arguing about.
Yeah.
Divine Light, Allah said, Ramadan is helping me to overcome the obstacles of negative thinking with swiftness. Yeah, man. You tapping into the group mind. So when your own people, it's a lot of your own people by the millions and by the billions, actually, 2 billion people that had the same goal is concentrated, in the same goal, then it's way easier for you to hop in that stream and benefit from it. So yeah, man, get as much as you can from this wave of this energy of these united minds and souls on this Ramadan energy of being positive, of fasting, praying, reading, getting knowledge, improving yourself. You know, it don't matter what interpretation you, if you believe that God or Allah or whatever Most High is a spirit, that's cool. Pray, just pray to your spirit. Pray to whoever God is to you. You know what I'm saying? Meditate, give thanks, give charity, do good to people the way that you would want people to do good to you. It could just be a smile or a compliment or open the door. Hey, how you doing, brother? Or how you doing, sir? You know what I'm saying? Just be pleasant, be positive and pleasant, and watch it come back to you tenfold. Watch how it come back to you tenfold. Do this experiment, y'all, especially these last 10 days of Ramadan. Practice being super, you know, kind and respectful or helpful or charitable, and watch it come back tenfold. Watch. Just do it. Don't just take my word for how can it hurt? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't need you to tell me that, Cam. Well, good. Well, I'm just reminding you just to try it these last 10 days. Did you Madon, did you ever see that Dr. Artist little thing that I posted up?
No, I didn't get a chance to catch the link. I didn't get a chance to check it out. I gotta catch that link and go look at it.
Yeah, man. So that's another I said the wrong name. I said the name, brother. Robert Monroe. It was Robert Malone. It was this top doctor named Robert Malone during the pandemic that was a whistleblower, and you know, it's a few other ones, Dr. McCullough. So this white dude, Dr. Artist, is referencing a lot of them and saying that he's been working with them. And man, I'm seeing it right now. I just went online and ordered some little patches. I don't smoke. I ain't never smoked in my life, not no cigarettes. But based on what he said, I'm gonna do some experimentation on myself. You know what I'm saying? So where it says the other N word, is not talking about ninja, it's talking about nicotine. Nicotine. The pharmaceutical industry has been painting nicotine as some addictive, monstrous enemy that's been destroying lives, when that's actually not the case. So this is all kind of benefits, you know, according to the peer-reviewed published papers, scientific medical journal papers that's been suppressed for the last 30 years. So it's something y'all want to check out. Yeah, y'all might want to read that. Watch that immediately. Dr. Artist, I think it's the Dr. Artist, the drartistshow.com or something like that. Y'all might want to check that out immediately, because I don't want to have knowledge of certain stuff, just like my ionic colloidal silver and stuff. You know, if I get knowledge of stuff like nicotine or ivermectin, or, you know, the research that's coming out about parasites, how we think that cancers is just cancers, but cancers, as well as the majority of, you know, diseases that we suffer from, is really parasites. So the solution, that's why ivermectin was working so well, because ivermectin is supposed to be like some horse dewormer, but it was a dewormer, right? And, you know, so anyway, I can't go too far on this channel, but just go look into it yourself. Y'all look into it yourself, especially if you got, you know, you're dealing with family members with cancer, or you might be struggling with cancer, or you know, other viral diseases, pathogens. Ready or not, 31. Good evening, Cam. Just getting here kind of late. Did you mention or speak about anything in regards to Big U turning himself in? No, I just was scrolling. I didn't speak about it, and I don't really have nothing to say about it. I just was scrolling on. I was doing a screen share, sharing my screen and scrolling on my YouTube feed, and we saw it a few minutes ago. So yeah, we scrolled past that and saw that apparently that's the case. But yeah, I don't have no comment about it, other than just got my eyes and ears open. It's Ramadan. We sticking to you know, positive, non-drama, no beef, no messiness. You know, we're not blind, but you know, wise people just hold their tongue, and that's all we doing. We're just holding our tongue. Yeah.
So what's your take on on Elon Musk, man, I was listening to him the other day, and he keeps acting, well, he keeps speaking as if he's all about the freedom of speech for the American people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he feeling the pinch though, right? So allegedly or apparently, I just read something yesterday or maybe today that Elon Musk has this year alone since January has taken a 1.1 or 1.2 trillion dollar loss, like his companies. So Tesla plus whatever other companies, like he has taken a 1.2 trillion dollar loss, right? So that's part of the Satan machine, the satanic machine. Like once you side with, once you choose your side, and you start going there against Big Brother, against the other Satan, then they gonna hit your pockets. They're gonna try to do you like they did Diddy, like they did all of blackmail people. But the way they try to do Trump, they try to assassinate his character, and then say that he was doing this with females, and then try to chip him, you know what I'm saying, physically, with a stick. And so they gonna get at him, and he said that on Joe Rogan. He's like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to say, but I can't say it. Once I realized that I'm thoroughly outnumbered, I'm totally outnumbered. And I'm not just talking about in America. The American government is not controlled by America. So he's seeing that he's totally outnumbered. So he's like, how can I go back to Washington and stay alive? They're gonna delete me. And he was really serious. So he ain't able to do what he thought he was able to do. Once you get there, you realize what it really is. And you're like, okay, what good is being 300, 400 billionaire if you ain't alive to enjoy it?
Yeah, that's real, man. That's a fact. I think you're spot on, because I seen Trump trying to pretty much promote Tesla. He pulled out in front of, I don't know what building he was in front of, the White House or wherever, where he hopped inside the Tesla, and I can definitely tell he's feeling a bite.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, but to whom much is given, much is required. If you really claiming that you're gonna be a freedom fighter and you really gonna be righteous, we'll see. But the real ones put their life on the line. That's what they do. The real ones is do, of course, what Elijah and Farrakhan did and have been doing. But even if you're not claiming that level, do what Kanye doing. Like really put yourself all the way out there on the line. You know what I'm saying? If you're really supposed to be a revolutionary, a freedom fighter, or you want to, really put it out there. I know you got to be wise, but if just like Trump, they supposed to have released JFK, the rest of JFK files, and they really ain't nothing. They ain't really even saying, the files don't even say nothing. So it's a big nothing burger. You know what I'm saying? All these so-called things you're supposed to be exposing turn out to be big nothing burgers. Like, all right, well, we already eat nothing. We already know nothing. So that's why I follow people like I said, Ashton Forbes and the little Jesuit priest Danny Sheehan or whatever. I follow people that's really giving up certain kind of information that ain't nobody else giving up nowhere else. I know it's going to be mixed with some BS or mixed with some lies or some false propaganda, but I still like high potency, extreme type information. I like to hear extreme information. I don't want to hear watered down, lukewarm, like you said yesterday. Like, all right, that ain't nothing. Why even bring it up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's for real.
Ready or not, 31. Trump did a whole Tesla infomercial right on the news, which was supposed to be a press conference. Right. So I understand that Trump, that's why he chose Elon, because of Elon's long money and his ability to fund independent messages that's not controlled by mainstream legacy media, fake news media, or controlled by small cap lobbyists. But you just one dude and it's easy to get you out the way. You just one dude. So whatever Tesla and Trump's, I mean, not Tesla, whatever Elon Musk and Trump's theological belief system is what's going to be important. What God do y'all believe in? Because you aligned yourself with Trump, Elon. So basically, you at the mercy of whoever his God is. I hope y'all believe in the same God, because you're going to get whatever Trump get. They might do you first because you the money man behind Trump. You the extra money man. Trump got his own little bag, but he ain't spending his own bag. He's using his powers now and his lawyers, his constitutional and government lawyers. He paying them a big bag to see what executive orders and how he can snatch this policy that Biden or some presidents had, or how he can take advantage. What's the loophole in this power that I can exercise? He doing that, and he needs Elon Musk bag to back him up on that. But any of these muscle man monster big brothers that's already planted in all of these locations in this dark shadow government, they'll get y'all just two niggas. They'll get y'all, not niggas, but or white, whatever. They'll get y'all out the way so quick because they're not riding with y'all for love. It was your own Secret Service that let you get popped in the ear. So they know, like, I just two people. It's nothing to get rid of two people. It'll cause a big, revolution. It'll cause a redneck, Trump following revolution, and it'll cause a whole stampede. I believe a revolution of unrest directly against the small cap. So I don't think they want to do it like that. They tried it though, but shit, if they tried that, I think that they'll still try to get him like that. But they'll do Elon quick. Ain't nobody gonna do no revolution January 6th for Elon.
Man, because they burning his cars and doing all kind of stuff in the streets. Like, damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's safe for Elon because Elon needs security. Because Elon ain't really from America. Ain't he from South Africa or something like that?
Yeah, he was South Africa.
So I'm sure he's a dual citizen now, but he needs the America's army. And he knew that Trump is doing like a coup, a takeover, a regime change where he's taking the muscle, because the United States military, the military industrial complex, is who he got to be cool with. But formerly, they have always been controlled by the small caps. So now they trying to, take the muscle back and put some money and some brains of their own behind America's muscle. That's this whole war that's going on right now between them. So Elon's safest place is to be with Trump, because somebody was going I ain't gonna say extort him, but somebody was gonna capture him and make him put his money and resources behind them. You're not just going to be a multi-billionaire and you just walking around, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to let you do that. You belong to somebody. You just one individual. No, this ain't about how much money you got. This is about how much muscle you got. One dude can't outnumber all of these Black Rocks and Vanguards and the Vaticans and, small caps. You just one dude. You better try to get with the American military industrial complex, that dark shadow government, and make a deal. Drain the swamp of the small cap influence, but you ain't draining the swamp of the rest of them.
Man, yeah, I ain't lying. It's like he had to pick a side.
We got to pick a side.
He had to.
Yeah,
I heard he said when he jumped ship, the Democrats, they hotter than a radiator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, and the Democrats is the small cap party. That's the small cap party. That's the liberal small cap party.
But and when you kind of look at it, man, it almost reminds me when you brought out the information on Operation Paperclip when they took the scientists, like these high-powered scientists. It's almost like Elon fall in that group, like he's a high-minded scientist, you know, and hey, but the devil is buddy.
We saw him doing the salute. That wasn't no knock it off. Our eyes didn't lie. Right. He was talking to his support base. Trump's support base is Gentile whites, non-Jewish whites, Christian whites, the Christian right. Christian whites is Trump's core base, his majority base, 80, 90 million base Americans. And they are fully with that. That's no secret. And nothing is wrong with there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. At least they banging America. At least they claiming America. They're not claiming some foreign country. Make America great. Don't make Israel great. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. If I was white and a pilgrim and, came from England and went through all that Revolutionary War and Boston Tea Party and revolting from the king or queen of England and all the work to make slaves and build the world for you, I wouldn't want to give it away to some foreign big brother neither. Like, no, this ours.
Yeah, they got the right to make that claim. That's real.
Yeah. And that's why we're not supposed to be in it. But here comes our black women. Here comes these emotional Captain Saber devs. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make sure they in it because the small caps is going to put them to work. Small cap is going to use what they know our black women love, the vanity of fame and an illusion of power and corporate this and importance and status. Yeah, we're going to give you all of that, Eve. Here, bite this apple. This apple got a different kind of worm in it. Here, bite. Take a bite. Now they out front, running their mouth. But let me turn that down. It's Ramadan.
Now, I mean, just for me to just, but that's so real because it goes to show they still to help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they the help meet, but they just the help meet for the wrong man. You the help meet of Satan. Right. You're supposed to be the wife of Adam, you know what I'm saying? Your own man, but you the wife of the serpent. You the help meet of the serpent.
That's terrible.
But yeah, we'll be able to get to it, God willing, when Ramadan is over.
Most definitely.
But yeah, we on the last 10 days, which is one of those last 10 days of Ramadan is called the Night of Majesty or the Night of Power. That's the holy night that the actual first revelation of the Quran was ever given to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It was in the last 10 days, literally they say one of the last 3 days of Ramadan. And that was the first revelation, which was the angel Gabriel in Islam or Arabic is Jibril. The angel Jibril, which was a black man, visited Muhammad for the first time and gave him the first revelation and the first instruction, which was read, which was called read, Iqra, read. And he couldn't read. He didn't know how to read. So that was his instruction. Learn how to read, because I'm going to give you these revelations from God and you need to be able to write them down and have them dictated and be able to share them on paper. So that's the importance of that verse. It's called the Clot, and it says Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The beginning it says read in the name of your Lord who creates man from a clot. Read in your Lord is most generous, who taught man by the pen what man knew not. So We all need to learn how to read at some point, but right now, of course, we read nature, we read each other, we read spirits, the spirit or the vibe or the discernment. We read actions, we read words and see if they line up with our actions. So we reading, but we need to learn how to read, paper, read words on paper fluently and understand written words. So that was the first instruction. And that's the first day the first revelation that was ever given of the Quran. And then it was continuously revealed for the next 23 years. So it took 23 years in total for the angel Gabriel or Jibril to reveal the whole Quran to Prophet Muhammad before he passed. So that's what this is about. This month is about. And the Quran and the Bible is just books of the nature of the original people. It's called religion, but it's not religion. Islam didn't start with the Quran. The Quran is not where Islam started. Islam started approximately, we're taught, 76 to 78 trillion years ago. Islam started when God started, when he produced this first house, this first body for himself. So Islam is the nature of God. Islam is the nature of the righteous, the nature of man. Islam is not a religion, but we put it in book form for the races, or especially for the opposite race, because they made out of a different nature and they had to study our nature in order to be successful in a universe made out of truth. If their nature is going against truth, they need a book, they need a teaching, they need a religion, they need a law that's going to keep them, successful enough to be able to take over. Even with the wicked nature, they got to study truth. They got to study the nature of the black man, the black nation, to even be able to conquer us. So that's that. Any questions on that? That bring any questions to your mind, Madan?
Oh man, for sure, bro. I was just sitting here thinking. You said it said he created man from a clot. Now, is that talking about a clot of blood or is that a clot of mud?
Clot of blood. A blood clot.
So yeah, that gave me a different perspective. So because some scriptures say created man from the dust of the ground, but when you think of it as a clot, it seems more scientific because you're dealing with the substance.
But it's still mud, right?
Okay.
All clot is earth mixed with water, mixed with electricity.
Okay.
Right. So all of the same minerals and elements that's in the earth, that's in the ground, is in the human body.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, he's talking about all these clot must mean all these substance together. Because
Yeah, but that's in the womb. That's in the womb of a woman, right?
Okay.
But that also does apply, now that you put it that way. That also has to apply with how he brought himself into existence. His original form, because our form is patterned after how he brought himself into existence. So our process just takes place in the womb of our mother, a woman. His process took place in the womb of infinite triple dark space. So he made himself out of the dust particles or the matter or the material of the darkness. That became his womb. That was his mother, so-called mother. But he was the mother of himself, because it wasn't no she that produced him. He produced himself out of the darkness. And then he produced she. So she came out of him.
Yeah, that's cold, man. That's cold, man, when you look at it like that, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, that'll bring a whole bunch of more questions. And those are kind of, I think, the questions that we need to ask, though.
Yeah, because I was listening to a brother. I ain't gonna say his name, but he had a guest on there, and they was talking about the Nation of Islam. That's you know. And I heard the brother was basically saying um, he don't believe in it because the nation teaches about living on a wheel for an eternity. And I was like, where you get that from?
Say that again.
He was saying that his disagreement with the Nation of Islam, or why he didn't like the Nation of Islam, because the nation believed that when you die, I guess I think he said when you die, you live on a wheel for eternity or something like that.
Where that ever be taught at? I ain't never seen
I
that.
don't know where he got that from.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's interesting. What did he say that to a nation member?
Nah, it was him and another brother. They was dealing.
Yeah,
with
I'm saying. So why talk about us instead of talking with us and verifying do any of that is any of that what we really teach or believe?
Right. That's what I was saying to myself. I didn't, what I'm saying, I was listening to a playback, so I couldn't type it in the chat. But that would trips me out. I hear a lot of brothers speaking on the nation about what they think they know, but when you look at it, they don't know nothing. It's like they're just speaking from
they don't ever say it to a nation member. They don't say it while they on a podcast live with one of us. Why you got that to say when we not there?
Yeah, that's the hey, it goes to show that the cowardice, in my humble opinion.
Man, KMS said if Yaqub created a new race of people the way it's described, then do you believe the G sides in Africa, Gaza, etc., are creating new? I don't understand that question. The G sides, like I don't understand that. KMS, can you phrase that? I don't understand that question. If Yaqub created a new race of people the way it's described, then do you believe the G sides? Who is the G sides in Africa and Gaza, etc., are creating new races of people? I don't know what you mean. Genocides? I don't know what you mean.
I was thinking
and how yeah, I don't have no clue what you talking about. Can you ask that in a different way, or you can hop on the StreamYard and just ask it audio on the audio version. There's the StreamYard link if you want to just do that. But yeah, we'll see though, God willing, and Ramadan is over. If anybody wants to resume discussions or dialogues actually with me or with a Nation of Islam member, with me. I can't speak for nobody else. You need to talk with me, I think. King Me, genocide. What is genocide? I don't understand. I still don't understand the question. So you saying if Yaqub created a new race of people the way it's described, and do you believe that genocides in Africa and Gaza are creating new races? How would that be creating new races? Genocides is not what Yaqub was doing. I mean, I don't know if you understand Yaqub's work or have you studied what Yaqub's work is. Yaqub wasn't doing no genocides. He was saving, he was producing something. He was grafting, if he started with 60,000 black people when he was doing a genetic or selective breeding work with only 60,000 people, he wasn't trying to exterminate the rest of the billions of black people on the planet. He was doing a operation, you know what I'm saying, a genetic work on those, so so no, it's absolutely not the same thing. To answer that question, it's just what he had to do to get to that people, and he didn't have to do it, but maybe he did. Maybe he had to lie, because mothers that had a dark, dominant dark trait child He fed them according to the teachings. He got rid of them and then lied to the mother and said, that the child was an angel baby, and when she dies and goes to heaven, that he'll have a seat reserved for her in heaven. So it was unaliving combined with having to tell the mothers some story about their baby, because if he would have told them the truth that he just fed their baby to a wild beast or stuck a needle in a whatever, then it would have been revolt, because they didn't know. They didn't, the 59,999 didn't know the secrets of what Yaqub was really doing with them. He sold them a different pipe dream. They thought that they was, producing something else or doing something else. They was producing a divine new people, but not the way that they agreed that they thought they was doing it. It's similar to the way that the slave trader made an interpretation to our African chiefs in Africa 470 years ago. They made an interpretation that our people would receive more gold than we was making in our own country in Africa. If you let us use some of your tribesmen, let us buy some of your tribesmen. Y'all call them slaves, but slaves just means servants or workers or whatever. Slave is in Arabic is called Abdul, servant of. God is a servant of. Jesus is a servant of. All of us righteous claim to be servants of the people, servants or slaves of God. So that wasn't a bad term back then, but this satanic race of people intentionally deceived and made an interpretation that our people who was working here, and we wasn't working for fiat currency. We wasn't working for pieces of paper with people's faces on them, like coming to America, King Jaffe Joffer, he got his own money and all that. That wasn't our money. Our money was gold. We knew the value of gold. So they had to lie to us and say, if you come help us build our new world over here, then we'll make sure that your tribesmen and your architects and all the people that we take with us would receive even more gold, and they'll be having, this luxury and that, this and that, and these power and these rights, and they'd be co-rulers and blah, blah, this and that. They lied to our chiefs. And it wasn't no internet. It wasn't no emails that you can, call cell phones. Like, they lied to us. Like, once they hop on them boats, that's that. We didn't know that was happening to us. So all of that's a lie. Boy, our own people sold each other into slavery. Yeah, but they didn't know that's what they was doing to us. How could they have known?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fact. Hey man, that's one of the greatest lines of all time, man. From Coming to America, man. What do you say? You got your own money.
Yeah, baby, when I say he got his own money, he got his own money.
He made Daryl look like a welfare case.
But that's something to think about, though. What, according to our lessons, we didn't play fiat paper money. Money to us was gold, silver, you know what I'm saying? And we knew what the purpose and the usefulness of gold was. Gold wasn't just for jewelry. To us, gold wasn't jewelry. Just like how, I make and prepare ionic colloidal silver. Yes, that's just one of the uses of silver. That's just one of the values and benefits of silver. Same with gold. Gold is the same properties to the health of the blood and the body, but gold is also one of the greatest conductors of electricity and the conductors of thought. Gold is the greatest metal conductor of thought. So all the, spiritual temples and pyramids and all of that, all of them work with gold. The sarcophaguses, the tombs of the pharaohs and all their jewels and was gold. because they knew that gold was a high transmitter and receiver of thought, because we was telepathic people. We was astral travelers or remote viewers, you know what I mean? And gold, you know, wearing gold helped to tune us to focus on wherever we wanted to, you know, communicate with, or wherever we wanted to travel to in the out of body state.
Yeah, I used to wonder why Mr. T used to wear all that gold, man. You know, I don't know. I don't know if he was doing it for fashion, or did he know something that
Nah, he didn't know nothing. His DNA knew something. That's why we like it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't know what it really do, but we know it feel good on us. We know we want to have precious gold and precious stones and crystals and diamonds, whatever. We know that it feel good. Why do it feel good? It feel good just because it's shiny? Did that really make sense for adults? If this looks shiny? No, your subconscious knows that it's a different benefit that you're getting from it. You're able to transmit certain thoughts or certain intents. Even if your intent is to make a girl submit to you and some lust, these diamonds and this gold going to help it go down like that. It's going to help you see things my way. That's
so true, man.
Supreme touch, salute, Supreme touch. Yeah, man, I guess that's it, man. And that's something else you wanna add on, or you wanna open up another subject right quick?
Well, yeah, we can keep coming because it's raining. I don't know if you can hear the rain on your side coming on my end. I don't know if it's real loud or
not. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
You said what now?
No. I said it was raining real hard. I didn't know if it was messing up the live stream.
Oh yeah. I couldn't hear you. Quiz Money says minerals was our money back then. Perhaps some of our currency could be considered minerals. It was precious metals. It was land, of course. It was livestock and cattle. That's what we considered currency. If you had a whole lot of cows, a lot of horses, a lot of sheep, chickens or whatever, or farmland, where you're able to grow crops and palm trees and grapes and fruits and vegetables or animals, to eat, that was your currency. You had land, you know how to build. That was your currency. Your currency is real tangible stuff, not fiat symbols. Money was never our money was never symbolic. Our money was the actual article. You either had to have something or you had to know how to do something. That was our currency. That's how we bartered and traded, and that was our money.
Yeah, that's real, man. Because when you look at the men of the script, a lot of them men in the Bible, they was considered rich. And if you look at the reason why they was rich, is like they had cattle, they had they had like the things you just described.
Yeah. So and they had palaces. So it was architects that knew how, they knew masonry. I'm talking about before there was a such thing as Freemasonry. They knew how to build palaces. They knew how to build crystal and gold and like extravagant. They was scientists. They was engineers. So it wasn't like no African, just living in huts and all of that. No, that's the savage. I ain't gonna say savage. That's the jungle life. That's the Negroid, kinky hair, wide lip, big nose, our tribe of Shabazz that was living in the jungle. They were spending their last 50 years trying to conquer the wild animals and the climate and the herbs and the vegetation and all of the poison ivy and all of the, they focus was to conquer that part of natural wildlife. They wasn't spending their time building gold and cathedrals and castles and pyramids and stuff like that. The The tribe of Shabazz, the kinky hair blacks wasn't doing that. It was different tribes of black people that was busy doing that. We was building ourselves. We wasn't building brick buildings. We was building this building to be the most indestructible building on the planet. And they was successful in doing that. But in doing that, we lost two whole God cycles of current wisdom and knowledge. We didn't know it was a new wicked race that had been produced. We didn't know that. But they saw that we was the most indestructible God physical specimens on the planet, and they knew to set up a trading post in the jungle where we was dumb. We was dumb to that. We was masters in over the animals, you know what I'm saying, and the trees and the herbage, but we was dumb to civilization. So as soon as they came and set up this, we knew the value of gold. Like I said, we knew nature. Gold is an element of nature. We knew that, but we didn't know nothing about devil. We didn't have no knowledge of the tree of evil, the tree of good and evil. We was totally green to that. And that's how we got deceived and tricked and enslaved. And that's how the whole planet got deceived and tricked and enslaved, because the whole planet was original righteous people that didn't know nothing about devilish men and technology of a whole race of Satans and devils. That's how they took over.
I was going to ask you a question. What's your understanding on, you know how like when it comes to ham, Shem, and Japhet, like, you know, Western thought will teach us that, you know, Ham represents Africans, Shem represent these people, and Japhet represent these people. What's your understanding on that story of Ham, Shem, and Japhet?
Well, all of them is the sons of Abraham. So Abraham was black. So, you know, and it wasn't no new race. They didn't create no new race. They might have, you know, produced three different traditional cultures, but all of them was the son of the same father, and Abraham was black. So, you know, people make that mistake thinking that culture is race. You know, I'm Russian. I'm part Dutch and German and part Russian. Like, no, that's just white. What are you talking about? That's all the same white people. Just because you speak Russian, you speak a different language, you might eat a different food, different vegetation grows over there on that side of Europe or that side of the Asia or whatever. It don't got nothing to do with nothing. You still the same white people that just set up shop or settled over there on that part of the earth. So Ham, Shem, and Japhet, that's the same thing. That's the same concept. You know, I just explained what Islam means. Islam ain't a religion. Islam just means submission to the one God. So all of the prophets, you know, practice that. That didn't start with no book. That didn't start with no Bible or no Quran. So people that get caught up in the Johnny come lately stories of the Bible, that's just for the last 6,000 years of history. What about the let us make man in our image time of history before we said that? How long was we here before we said, now let us make man in our image and after our likeness and give them dominion to rule our planet and our animals and fish and our land and whatever that we made? We're going to give them power and dominion to rule that for the next 6,000 years. What was we doing before we made this new people?
Hey, that's real, man, because when you look at it, right, well, this is what I be thinking about all the time. Like, they tell us it's, well, I'm going to say so-called 2020, 2020, or 2025, right? So it's like, okay, it's like it's almost like an alternative time or something, you know what I'm saying? Or that they gave us. Can you kind of see that? Like, they tell us it's 2025, right? But,
you know why they say that, right?
Well, from what I heard it's because I don't know what Julius Caesar or Augustus, one of them came into power and started or something like that, or the death of Christ. I've heard that as well.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with Julius Caesar. That was according to our own histories and records, and the Bible kind of verifies it. That's how long ago it's been since the prophet Jesus or prophet Isa or Yeshua, since he died. It's been 2025 years. So time, according to Torah or Bible or whatever, time of is marking the time of Adam or the Adamic race or the white race. Time to them, if we gave them power and dominion and let them rename everything, they're gonna start time with themselves. They're not gonna start time with our beginning because they don't even know our beginning. They have to start time with their beginning. So from Adam to now is 6,000 years. From Adam to Moses is 2,000 years. From Moses to Jesus is 2,000 more years. And from Jesus to now is 2025 or 2057 years. So that's why this is called 2025, because it's them keeping track of their limited time. They got to keep track of how much time they got left.
Hey, that's 100. I always wondered that, man. I always heard, some say, well, the death of Christ and, it started at year zero, but it's my first time hearing it broke down the way you expound on it.
Yeah, since they was able to take over the world, then they was able to push their agenda and their narrative on the whole planet. That's why they was able to take over the world. The devil deceives the whole world because we gave them dominion over the whole world. So they gonna only track their time, and that's why they in wrath and rage, because they know their time is up. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. The devil is coming down on you now, having great wrath, because they know they have but a short time left. They know they 6,000 years was up in 1914. 1914 was the end of their 6,000 years. So every year, all the time since 1914, which is like 100 and something years, 114 years or something like that, that's all grace. Only reason why they've been given an extension of time is because we, the people of God, still been sleep holding on to them. And God didn't want to destroy his own people. So he gave them grace. He gave them an extension because he's trying to give us an extension. But now, we was given the number of grace. The grace period wasn't to exceed 70 years from 1985, and we there now. We at the 70th year. So it ain't no more grace. We gonna see a rapid destruction, a rapid increase of calamities, rain, hail, snow, earthquakes, tornadoes, heat waves, blizzards, snowstorms, wars, famine, pestilence, disease, unrest. We about to see it all this year, starting this year, and it's going to increase for the next 3.5 years. It's going to increase for the next this Trump term, this Trump presidential term. We're going to see it.
Yeah, that's real. Because I was wondering, during the time of the entrance of that, the coming of the blood moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Alabama, like a day before the blood moon or something like that, or a day and a half before. All this heavy tornado weather came through. You know what I mean? It was the one that I forgot. They had Alabama on high alert, Mississippi, and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if that correlated with that moon, with that. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah. All of it is connected. The blood moon, of course, we know what blood represents. The stock market getting hit, it went to $5.5 trillion in losses. They call it a bloody market, blood in the streets. The Red Sea, what that mean? Of course, that's bloodshed and revolution. And the blood of birth, of childbirth, when a mother gives birth, or the woman in Revelation give birth to to a male child that's destined to rule the nations with a rod of iron, is bloodshed involved in her giving birth. So it says, I have for a long time held my peace. This is God talking, but now will I cry out like a woman in labor. A woman in labor. I will now cry out and destroy and devour at once. So a woman in labor, you can't have a baby without bloodshed. That's impossible. That's the nature of producing new life. If we coming from the old mental death life and we going into the new life, you know what I'm saying? That's going to involve bloodshed. So this is the time of bloodshed. This is the time of all of that. So it's signs in the heavens. It's signs in nature. That's what, you know, you're seeing all these little, they think it means this or that. You're seeing these little streams and rivers all over the world is blood red and they don't know what's happening. They know, you know, the ignorant masses don't know. They just think it's Bible, literal Bible prophecy like that. But the wise rulers and kings or whatever of the world, and they know what that means. It's all symbols that means that the real physical bloodshed is upon us because they already been doing it. If they've been wiping us out for the last since the 70s on a scale never before practiced on human beings, they've been drew first blood with us. They've been started Armageddon decades ago. Armageddon ain't just one day. You know, Judgment Day ain't 1 24-hour day. Judgment Day can be a century, a whole century. And if they time was up in 1914, it's been a century of Armageddon bloodshed against us. They knew their time was up. What you think they was gonna do to us if they know their time is up?
Yeah, buddy. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real, man.
And yeah, that's why it's not necessary to beef or to argue about God and theology with other black people, especially not online. If you want to disagree and if you that adamant and you that, you know, to where we just ain't with y'all, we can't unite with y'all because you know our God say that you know y'all following the wrong doctrine. All right, well, you know, let's peacefully coexist. You know, we won't step on your toes, don't step on our toes. But if you really want to do a demo, you really want to claim your God is the real God and ours ain't, let's do this curse. Let's do this God curse challenge. So that's, you know, you already know what time I'm on. So God, please, that's what I'm on. Because I know who my God is, and I know my God is the real God. I know my God is the real God, and I'm anxious to show it and prove it with those that say he ain't.
Hey, so what's your take on I ain't trying to get into a Bible lesson, but
Yeah.
I just want to ask this one question. When the scripture talks about I forget exactly how it goes, but it says, I set up kings, I set up rulers, or something like this. That I, the Lord, do all these things. What's your take on that?
You said he sets up kings. What do you mean?
I mean, it says something like that. It says, I set up kings, I set up rulers, I the Lord, do all these things, or something to that effect.
Well, you saying Isaiah where he said, I make evil, I create evil, I, the Lord, do all these things. Other places in the Bible, you talking about, yeah, he does. He's the one that raises rulers and wicked rulers and kings. You know, just like he the one that made the devil.
Yeah.
So why focus on the underlings when you should go right for the big top man, which is the devil himself? Like, God, why did you make devil?
Yeah, that's
the same reason he made devil is the same reason he made the little kings and little adversaries that on our level that we got to deal with. He made the devil. You know what I'm saying?
Now I was thinking about, you know, how you be like you know, or how you like Trump got put in power. You thank God for putting Trump in power, or something like that. And you know, when I think about, when you say that, I always think about that verse where it says something to that effect or something like that.
Yeah, the Bible say, I'm the one that God is talking, saying, I'm the one that raised Pharaoh to such power that nobody else could defeat him but me. That's how I'm gonna show you that I'm really God, because your God can't do it. Your God hasn't done it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I can prove that your God ain't God, because your God hasn't done it. So now I'm gonna wait now and raise my messenger and tell my messenger when to say these challenges, when to challenge you, and then your God is not going to do it, and then I'm going to do it for my messenger. That's how you prove beyond of a shadow of a doubt whose God is the real God.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, buddy.
And it's not always time to do that. Like the Bible, like Elijah's whole story, you know, and everywhere Elijah is mentioned, he's not challenging Baal prophets. There's only one time, there's only one season. It came to a point, you know what I'm saying, where it was time for him to do that.
Yeah.
So it's that season. That ain't what I used to be saying, but that's what it's time to say now. So I'm anxious to see it. I'm anxious to see what, because I know Allah, and I know Allah is in the person of my brothers and sisters that don't believe in Master Fard Muhammad, that don't believe in the NOI teachings. But you have to pop out and show ninjas. You have to do certain showdowns. You have to do some warfare or some fight, intellectual or spiritual fighting or physical, whatever, to let the people know where God really is at, who God is really with, who God is God. So that's what time it is. Cannot a fool see that that's what time it is?
Yeah, that'll definitely give the people the true spirit they need, you know, the true upliftment, man. I think, you know, for real, for real.
I mean, they still gonna deny it, those that's gonna deny it until it hit them. You know, just watching something happen to somebody else, you still gonna be like, well, that's this and that's that. Okay, well, you want to try? You want your turn now? You want to go next? That's how you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it, because my God is not gonna stop being the same God, and your God ain't gonna stop being the same God. You just keep doing it with everybody.
Yeah, I can ride with that for sure.
Yeah, that if they want it, I want it. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of this is how I go. This is how you make believers. This is how you become a believer. You have to be shown something. Something have to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the people that if they too much in violation, then the demo that happens to them might be for keeps, and somebody else have to learn from it. So some demonstration, some challenge results is gonna take people all the way up out of here. So they're not gonna learn nothing from it. It's not for them to learn nothing from it. It's gonna be for the people that witness it to learn something from it. They gonna become believers because of what they see that bold disbeliever happen to that bold disbeliever.
Yeah, you're right on that.
And we claim to love beef so much. We love beef. We love drama. We love, you don't love it that much. You don't want to do this thing with me.
You ain't lying.
I don't love it that much. I love it. I love the real beef with the real beasts, and beef with the real enemies and disbelievers and hypocrites and false prophets. And I love that beef, because you ain't got to get your hands dirty. You could put it in the mystery God hands, and we just wait and see what happens. I love that.
Hey, that's real, because I hear a lot of brothers on in the YouTube streets saying, "Oh, y'all God ain't real, and this, that, and the third, and where he at and where he been, and how come he ain't do this, and why he this, and why." I mean, but when it's time to show up, it's like you say, that 304 up.
304 up, and this never happened before though. It's never been this time for me. This is my first season ever really doing this publicly. This is my first time ever doing it publicly, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how it's gonna go. I mean, in detail specifically, I know how it's gonna go, but I don't know exactly the details of how it's gonna play out. I'm anxious to see it.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. And I'm just saying, like, it'll be good to see those brothers who say, y'all God ain't real, and where he been at, and there's a lot of brothers pose these questions out here, and I'm just hoping, somebody just step up to the plate and just for the people's sake.
Yeah, I do too. They don't have to step up. I'm gonna step up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it ain't even gonna be that kind of requirement. You don't even have to accept the challenge. I'm gonna put myself out there and call certain people out and still just wait and see what happens. That's what I plan to do. And it's inshallah, it starts in the house. It starts with people that claim they represent Elijah Muhammad or Master Fard Muhammad or even Farrakhan. Those that claim they represent these teachings. That's who I'm going after first. I ain't worrying about somebody else, in other religious sects. If they step up, then of course I go after them. But my offense, I'm going after those that I know that I heard that claim that they represent Elijah Muhammad or they claim the Nation of Islam. The real that Farrakhan deviated and all that kind of stuff. I can't wait for them. So they don't have to agree with me. I'm going straight at them. If Allah please. And I think he do.
Yeah, because a lot of them out there, man. I be seeing them.
Yeah, I ain't going after a lot. I'm just going after the head, the leaders, the ones that's making the most noise, the ones that they got the biggest followings.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I ain't wasting my time trying to chase down every little somebody got something slick to say. No, you hit the head and the body gonna fall.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And that's how you make an example. All right, well, you seen what happened to your leader, seen what happened to your boss, your chief, your big homie. You want next?
Yeah, man. It's 2025 has definitely been lit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just on both sides, black, white, whatever you know what I'm saying? It's like it don't matter. Like,
Yeah, so many people is planning to rejoice when it looks like Minister Farrakhan is dead, because that's what I just heard in my brain. What about when Farrakhan died? You know what I'm saying? Well, we've already been telling you that his departure, just like people, you don't believe Elijah Muhammad is still alive, you're not going to believe Farrakhan is still alive, but Farrakhan was able to successfully conquer Satan and conquer ninjas, conquer hypocrites, conquer, everybody, all opposition, and live to be 92 years old with no lower intestines. Everybody that tried to kill him failed. He's supposed to live forever among you. He already beat all your leaders. He didn't beat all of your leaders. He's more successful than all of your leaders. But, when it looks like he's dead, that's when they're going to celebrate, because me even issuing these type of challenges, I already hear you thinking. I already hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, well, we'll see. We'll see how it go. That's when the ish really hit the fan, when it looked like he dead. So we'll see. But right now we talking about what we talking about. But yeah, I guess that's it, man. I'm gonna give you the last words, Madon. But I always appreciate you letting me overtalk you.
Hey man, it's good. Hey man, man, it's just a blessing to be able to just dialogue with a brother that's been steadfast you know what I'm saying, and just to hear your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you know, because you bring out a lot of things I ain't privy to, and some, you know, a lot of us ain't, you know, we want to hear those, get that side because those breakdowns and stuff like that. So it's always good, man, because it's good for me to get you going. You know what I'm saying? Just, hey, man, I'm all for it. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Well, on that note, man, this is your brother Cam, Campaign Show Live Wednesday. Ramadan Mubarak and Ramadan Kareem to all of the Muslims. Successful Ramadan. And my brother, Madan Komet, my YouTube correspondent in these here YouTube streets. You got the last word. Take us on out, bro.
No doubt, man. I'm gonna say peace and blessings, man. Let's stay steadfast in the truth. Hold on to that which is good. Let's keep a positive thinking, man, and just stay away from the negativity, man. Because we can definitely see and observe what's going on in real time. And I'm gonna say salute.
Salute. Peace, y'all. Till tomorrow. God willing. Peace.